Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start here in just a second. We want to thank all of you for joining us. I'm Jason Wipkenberg with the EVSC, and it's our pleasure to have everyone here today. We want to say a big thank you to our media friends who have come out to cover this today. You're going to hear from several speakers, 4 different speakers, Dr. Smith from the EVSC and BJ Watts, the Executive Director of OptIN, and then I'll let them introduce 2 special guests as well. So we'll go through the information today and share the highlights of the great things and the potential this has for our students and our community. And following this, BJ Watts and Dr. Smith, for those of you in the media, will certainly be available to make comment. So this time it's my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Evansville-Vandenberg School Corporation, Dr. David Smith.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. The rain isn't going to start, I hope, for a long time, so it's just a nice, cool southern Indiana afternoon. Really pretty exciting announcement, and it builds upon what we've been working on now. As BJ mentioned a little bit earlier when we were talking, seems like we've been doing this for about 10 years, but it's really just been half of a year. And as you know, we introduced OptIN actually in December, so it's very, very young. And OptIN stands for Opportunities Through Partnerships That Transform and Inspire. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But OptIN really has so many different facets to it. And the work that BJ and his staff has done with our partnerships really is transformational at this early juncture. We're really here to talk about the Governor's Work Ethic Certificate. And I really do applaud the governor for putting that certificate together and the understanding and the process behind it. Because we know through research that the best predictor of a student's success is not their math score, not their reading score, but their ability to self-regulate, to self-manage, self-control. It's those executive functioning skills that truly are the measurements that will indicate a child's future success. So I applaud the governor in putting together a process and a protocol that truly measures what matters most. And then the third point that I think is truly important in all of this, when we look at OptIN, we can't have OptIN without partnerships. So I really value the partnerships that are here today. We would not be here without the businesses, the employers, the trades that have made this certificate possible. So I truly do thank you for that. Why OptIN? Why the Governor's Work Ethic Certificate, and why now? Because it focuses on those employability skills that are transferable across any employment situation. It is incredibly important. So I thank you for being here. Also want to lift up quickly, we have several board members here, Rand Sossenberg, Andy Greeno, and Reverend Terry Gamblin. This is a program unlike any other in Indiana, and it would not have been possible without the support of our board as well as support of other community leaders and employers. So thank you so much. And now the real substance for why we're here. I'd like to introduce Mackenzie Coulter with Flanders.
Thank you. The OptIN Advisory Council is made up of different businesses from a variety of industries providing diverse products and services. However, we unite under a common need with a common passion. We all have a need to fill our open positions for current jobs, and we recognize that growth for us may mean filling future potential jobs. It is because of this need that we collaborate with the EVSC through OptIN to unite our passions in investing in our community by developing our youth. The OptIN Advisory Council worked with the EVSC to identify skills that we as business expect in all of our employees, from entry level to CEO. These skills are critical for us to be successful. The Work Ethic Certification provides a way for us to evaluate potential future employees and know that they have the demonstrated ability in areas such as persistence, dependability, and integrity. We're excited to support students in this certification, to continue to collaborate together as industry and with the EVSC to provide a business voice and support in our schools. With that, I'd like to introduce BJ Watts, the Executive Director of OptIN, to share more about the certification.
Thank you. Before I get started, I do have to recognize a few people here. As Dr. Smith alluded to earlier, I feel like we've gotten a lot accomplished in a pretty short time here, and that work would be impossible without our leader, Chief Transformation Officer, Carrie Hilliard, and our project manager for OptIN, Alex Burton. So, with that, it feels like, certainly deserve a hand. I also have to thank our industry partners, and I usually don't do this like this because I always leave somebody out, so I run them down. So we're going to try to do it. If I leave you out, just grab me. We have Berry Global, Flanders, AmeriQual, Old National Bank, St. Vincent, Cook Enterprises, Deaconess, Toyota Indiana, Vectran, and our friends in the Skilled Trades Union. Did I leave anybody out? If I did, speak now or forever hold your peace. You can't tell me later. Okay, I think that was it. Now, on the certificate, the reason that we're here. The certificate is made up of 10 components. You will see the 4 academic components across the bottom. The first 3 are measured during your senior year only. And that is 98% attendance, no more than 1 office referral, and 6 hours of community service completed during your senior year. There's also a capstone that has a minimum GPA of 2.0 across 9 through 12. So those 4 components are pretty easy to measure. And they're coupled with the 6 employability skills. Now here's where we get into what was the work. These 6 skills were selected not by us in the EVSC, but by our partners. They said these are the skills that we want in place: persistence, responsibility, initiative, dependability, ethics, and self-management. These are the skills that we want in every single employee, from an entry-level position to our CEO. These are the skills we want all of our employees to have. Now, these are the ones that are a little bit harder to measure, obviously. So the way this would work is these 6 skills, and we have posters like this that are posted all over all of our high schools. These 6 skills, each student must get 3 signatures of a staff member that has witnessed them displaying one of these 6 skills. So, if I display persistence, I will need 3 staff members to sign that for a total of 18 signatures, displaying that I have displayed all of these skills. Now, if I complete this, and you must complete all 10 components in order to receive the certificate. You have to have the 4 educational components as well as the 6 employability skills. And if you complete those, you'll receive the Governor's Work Ethic Certificate. What that will give you to the student, what we want to do is bring currency to our students, because the way that you make education valuable to students is you make it relevant to them. What's the value in this to me? What do I get? And outside of acquiring these skills, we also want to bring an immediate value to them. So if you are entering the workforce directly, the value to you will be 8 guaranteed interviews with our largest employers in the city of Evansville. That's a big deal. Signing bonuses, bonus vacation days, gym memberships, increase in base pay, and many others. Now, as we were sitting around, so the evidence of value to the student who's going to enter the workforce directly from high school is pretty obvious. And we were sitting around the table and we're like, how do we convey how important this is to those students that are going to attend a college or university directly after high school? How do we sell this to them that outside of acquiring these skills, what's that immediate currency for them? And I wish I could take credit for this idea, but I can't. Kim McWilliams, who's in the back of the room back there, this was his brainchild. And ONB brought that brainchild to life. I'm not going to get into what Bob's going to speak about, but every time I reach out to Bob, his response is always the same, and that is, how can I help? And he's one of the most civic-minded people I think I've ever met in my life, and we are blessed as a community to have him, and certainly as the EVSC to have him. And you've probably heard enough from me, so I'm going to let Bob talk about what Kim's vision was that he brought to life. And with that, I would like to introduce the Chairman and CEO of Old National Bank, Bob Jones.
I appreciate Kathy writing that introduction for me. That's awfully nice. I'd be remiss if we didn't, first of all, thank Dr. Smith and BJ for their great leadership. Today doesn't come with a lot of hard work and leadership, and clearly the two of you have laid the groundwork, so thank you so much. Talked a lot about workforce development, which is very important to all of us. It is really the key tool of economic development. And as we think about the future of this city, this region, it's really all about that economic development. And We talked about students that want to go directly into the workforce and all the great things that come with the GWEC, either going directly into the workforce or going with our friends in the trades. That's important. But there are some students that want to go to four-year schools. And through the brainchild of this group, it was clear that we need to provide some incentives. So on behalf of my fellow associates at Old National, I'm pleased to announce that we're going to establish 6 $1,000 scholarships for students that want to go directly into four-year schools, no matter what school they want to go to. Students who successfully complete these 10 components and get their GWEC will be eligible for the scholarship. The application process will begin April 1st through the 15th to all students who do get those degrees. And then let me tell you, those students are from one student from Wrights, one from North, one from Harrison, one from Central, one from Bosse, and then one from AIS, New Tech, AIS Diamond, or Virtual Academy. Those are all 6 $1,000 scholarships. And it's a small investment in our part into really is the economic well-being in this community. You look around this room with the great leadership, the most important thing we have is education. Look around the rest of the folks here, our friends in the trades, the business leaders. That is what's going to continue to make this community successful. So on behalf of my fellow Old National associates, we're proud to be a part of it, a very small part of it, despite your kind words, BJ, and we look forward to the future. So thank you, Dr. Smith.
Bob, thank you very much. I can also testify that whenever we need something, you're always the first in line, and I greatly appreciate your leadership in this entire community. This is all about providing opportunities for all of our kids. We want to end the brain drain. We want to make certain that everybody sees where their passions and aptitudes lie, and then have the ability to work with employers and businesses here so that they can remain here and have outstanding families so that we can continue to grow our community.